Good morning. Welcome to episode, I don't know anymore, of Heartbreak and Hope, where Reverend Kim and I discuss what breaks our heart and gives us hope. And welcome to Pride Month. It's June, and yay!
Yay!
And so today we're gonna start with a part of a prayer of a litany by Eli Poor, who is a community minister out west. And while it was written for Trans Day of Remembrance last year, it's equally as valid when we think about pride and all kinds of colors of the queer spectrum. So here goes. Come, gather close, you whose bodies remember a world before the dividing lines, before someone took a blade to the cosmos and carved it into man and women, order and nature, holy and profane. You who crossed the boundaries were never crossing anything. The world simply broke underneath your feet. You are the seam that still holds. You are the original map to a universe that did not yet fear its own fullness. Come, tender rebels, bone-bruised prophets, you who learned the choreography of danger before you learned your own names. You are not an accident. You are the map God drew when they finally grew tired of straight lines.
Because pride is a protest and a party.
Woo!
There we go.
So, how's your heart today?
My heart is heavy. There are a lot of folks carrying really heavy things right now. I've just been, witness and companion to folks who have had some really hard things happen in their lives recently. And at the same time, everything in the world just seems to bombard us. This feeling of constantly being under attack. We're always in fight or flight mode, and the body wasn't meant to be on a constant diet of cortisol. It's not good for us.
No.
And yeah, we've been doing these rest deck cards
Mhm.
a lot in this series, and I feel it from folks that they're hurting and they're tired and they need permission to rest. What about you?
I mean, it's hard to not feel a heavy heart these days, just like you said. And I listen to the news on my way to the office. I mean, I listen to the news every day, but like driving. And it felt a lot of the same tragic news, horrifying news. And while you were saying, you cannot live with this spike of cortisol all the time, what happens is the window of tolerance becomes bigger, so you don't know they are outside the window tolerance because these things become normal. And because as humans, you cannot stay in fight or flight all the time. So it becomes normalized. This is it's just what it is. And I was thinking about that. And I was thinking, we're in a time when maybe we don't know what to do about this.
Mm.
There isn't, because information comes at us so fast that we're not able to distinguish good from bad or normal from abnormal. We can only see it in retrospect. In retrospect, that was a red flag. In retrospect, that was horrible. But, and that's the thing that is underneath it all makes me unsettled because I honestly think that everything is so much louder these days because of how fast information travels that we're not used to it,
Mhm.
biologically and um, developmentally, evolutionarily. Um, I was told that a number of years ago that humans, you know, weren't evolved to have um, desk jobs, right? Like that's
Right.
why, yeah, that's why you feel like you need to go out and, as the kids say, touch grass, like because that's where and that evolution always lags over what's happening to the animal at the moment. So we haven't adapted to this. And so I think about that and I think about, can faith or a spiritual life help us in that, and how? And so
Oh,
that's what I've been reflecting about. I think yes. I think yes. I mean, spoiler alert, um but it's the thing about slowing down, giving
mhm.
yourself permission, and the power of a set of moral guidelines or beliefs that allow you to rest.
And additionally, give you space to make meaning
Yes.
when you're constantly bombarded with information, with news, with opinions. It is very hard to pause and figure out for yourself
Mhm.
what it means, what's important, where your heart and your head lie on any particular issue.
Yes.
Uh,
And I find that creativity helps with the spiritual side of it. Last year at the beginning of this administration, I was reading a book of rituals and I found this thing about how to express grief, and I made it into a two-part thing, adultery thing when you when you were on sabbatical. But this is something that people can do on their own, which is um, you break some pottery that you can spare to break, and then for a couple of weeks you contemplate the shards, and that symbolizes that disruption to your life in whatever way, loss of any kind, loss of, at the beginning of 2025, everybody was really scared and upset. Um, And then after 2 weeks or however long you want, and you have to look at the shards. So it is suggested you put them in a place where you see them every day. And then you glue them back together, thinking about, and that's the ritual aspect of it, thinking about, yes, it's broken, but I can put it back together. And yes, it's imperfect because I put it back. It's sort of like kintsugi. the cracks and the gold. But also you're doing it yourself, and it doesn't have to be gold. You just put it back, glue it back together best you can, and then you again contemplate that life goes on still. And that is something that I needed to be reminded of, because I actually, when I did it last year, then I ended up putting the cup in a place that I don't look at it very much. And I'm like, what does that mean? And I saw it yesterday and I'm like, hey, cup. So yeah, that's, the ritual, the power of ritual, the power of making meaning, the power of finding meaning is, um, what faith can offer. And I think that's the hope part, I guess.
That's the hope part. I was reading something the other day. It's been a little trendy for a while now to do these kind of social media sabbaticals.
Mm,
And I've done them myself. It's always beneficial. Uh, but there's a new trend. There's a new trend. I was reading about it just yesterday called Taking an Invisible Day. I was like, ooh, what is this? And it's more than just social media, but it is not as long as a social media sabbatical. It is taking a day, just a day, and taking a break from media. Well, okay, media it is all the things that communicate, but from the news and from social media, and maybe even from your email if you can, right? And just using the opportunity to reset.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just took a week off, and while I still looked at the email in case I needed to do something urgent, I detached from it.
You shouldn't have looked at your email.
I know I shouldn't, but see, that's the thing. It's a cultural thing that um for someone like me to look at the email and not do anything about it is a huge step forward versus
Okay.
in my previous career. And prior times, I could not be decoupled from email and phone. So
Okay, then hang on. We're going to celebrate that all you did was look at your email.
I just looked at it.
We'll celebrate the small wins. All
And
right.
I feel like it helped to
Mhm.
detach. And then maybe I wasn't invisible completely, but I used, I read books, right? I wrote by hand things instead of like, oh, let me take a note in my notes app on the phone. I just I worked with my hands, and um that sort of like it's sort of like a recharge, or it's also a discharge, sort of like when you ground yourself, because when you're doing embodied things, you're flipping the pages, you're sewing something, mending something, cooking something, it's the body that is doing it. It's not just this. And of course we're saying this while we're on YouTube,
While we're staring at our screens.
staring at our screens, and you, dear listener, are watching us probably on your phone.
It's so meta.
But like now, right now, close us down. Well, after it's over, obviously, because we want the views. But like,
Turn us off, go outside and touch some grass.
like We're always going to be there forever. The internet never goes away. There's stuff from me in the internet from 20 years ago. So we're always going to be here right now as it is right now. Yeah, no, but like this unplugging, it's sort of like my battery got recharged, right? Like
Yep.
I just doing the thing, chopping down the tree. So hope,
Hope.
hope.
So, hope. It's Pride Month. And for all the things that the queer community, the queer and trans community are facing right now, and there's a lot, the fact of the matter is that we have always been here and we are resilient.
Can't kill us all.
Can't kill us all.
And even if you do, we're gonna be down.
And they'll just keep making more.
That's right.
Small joys. Where
Yes.
are you finding hope right now?
I I officiated a wedding for two kids, one of whom is the child of a friend of mine who I remember being little at my home church. And it was so sweet. And it was all immersed in green because it was at the SIUE Gardens. There's a
Mm,
gazebo and it's surrounded by greenery. And it was just amazing. And it was so much happiness. So that gives me hope. Love always, young love gives me hope. Or love of any kind, but
love is love.
love is love. And it was two trans kids getting married.
Oh, nice. I got to be part of the raising of the rainbow flag at the mayor's office yesterday.
Woo!
And one of the cool things about our the STL Pride Court is just the diversity of expression of identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that even drag is becoming more expansive. Drag queens that keep their full beards, stuff like that. It's, the way that we make and remake ourselves. Any of us, not just queer folks, not just trans folks, but the way that we open ourselves to authenticity
Mm-hmm.
gives me hope.
Yeah.
And
So would you like to offer what you offered to the mayor?
yeah. So here is the prayer that I offered yesterday. Spirit of life and love, great mystery. We know that pride is a protest and a party. We gather this year with hearts heavy with grief at the losses of the past year, yet determined to show up. We show up fierce and frustrated to protest hateful rhetoric. And we show up gorgeous and glittering, determined to be visible. We show up proud to support the next generations and proud to celebrate the beauty and resiliency of our community. There is so much work to be done, but first, we party so that the joy of Pride renews our spirits and inspires us in the year ahead. In the name of Marsha P. Johnson and all the ancestors, queens and queers who said, enough is enough. May it be so. Amen. And blessed be.
Amen, amen, amen.